Hello and welcome to Complete with DLC, the only show that's going to reveal themselves on May 5th. I'm one of your hosts, Brad Knight, and sitting across from me is the movie director, Jacob Griffin. Jacob, how you doing today?
Thank you. That actually is a title that actually works.
I try.
It's a terrible day outside. It's absolutely awful.
It is. It went from being beautiful and, 60, 70 to now it's pouring raining.
And it's cold, which I think is the worst part.
I enjoy the cold. That much I don't mind.
Okay, I woke up from my nap freezing.
But you been up to anything fun, Jacob, since we last recorded?
No. I went on a hike this weekend. That was pretty fun.
Did you? Where'd you hike? I didn't know there was any hiking areas around here.
It wasn't like an actual hike. I went to this place called the Weedamo Woods. It's in Tiverton, and it's just they have trails that go through the woods. It was actually really nice. My legs hated me the next day though.
Yeah, hiking's pretty strenuous on the lower body.
Yeah.
Was it a long hike or just a stroll?
It was about like hour, 2 hours, about that.
Ah,
in
nice.
that range. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I was significantly less active than you.
Gee, that's honestly a shocker. What did you do?
Well, I just found out that Funimation has put out all 112 episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho, both subbed and dubbed, for free at 1080p on their website. So,
what is Yu Yu Hakusho?
It is one of my favorite 90s anime.
Oh.
And it's awesome, and I love it, and now I can watch all of it in pretty decent quality.
Apparently the new Dragon Ball is already out there.
Yep,
on the
Dragon
internet.
Ball Super, I believe it's called.
It's apparently already out there on the internet. I just saw someone share a link on Facebook, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to look at that, because I wasn't one of those 90s kids.
I was definitely one of those 90s kids. But on that note, let's get into what we're playing. Alright, Jacob, and playing anything good this week? Anything fun?
Alright, I got a couple of things. Let me first off start by saying, I played the Gears of War 4 beta, because it finally went to be open. It's Gears multiplayer, they haven't changed anything, it's the same basic format.
It's the Gears we all know and some of us love.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like the campaigns for Gears better in a weird way, which I usually don't say about video games, but I finally caved in, Brad.
Uh-oh.
And I'm gonna actually do this. I started playing Dark Souls.
Yes! I have corrupted you!
I have made a list of my likes and dislikes, though. I want to get those out to you. I want you to hear them. Let's start with my likes first. I think there's an equal number of likes and dislikes.
Well, that's always good.
The level and creature design is beautiful. Like, I think everything in that game is just gorgeous.
Yes, it is very, very pretty.
I like it around. When you walk around, corpses get stuck to your feet for a second, and I find that quite humorous.
Oh, the ragdoll physics from Havoc?
Yeah. I think it's funny, though, when I'm walking through a tight corridor and I kill, like, a skeleton or something like that, and he just gets stuck to my foot.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
You have to be actually clever to beat bosses, and then I put in parentheses to explain the story about how I was a scrub and went to a forum. So when I couldn't beat the first boss when I first started playing it, because I didn't know what I was supposed to do, right?
Which one? The
Asylum Demon.
Ah.
And what I found out when I went on to... Because I'm playing as a knight, which might have been a poor decision, I don't know.
No, a lot of people start out with a knight.
So I started playing as a knight, and I went in there to fight him the second time when you fall from the platform, and I didn't know that you can do a plunge attack.
Yep. It's those little messages on the ground will explain everything to you.
Yeah, I know, but they go away so quickly that I figured that it was just one that was like, go through here to fight the demon or something.
Yeah.
But so I finally did that, and I learned that I should take off my armor because it'll make me roll around better, and my health doesn't die quicker if I don't have armor on, which I found odd.
No, it's weird. In that game, what armor will do is increase your poise the heavier the armor is. And what poise does is increases the number of hits you can take without being staggered or like stunned for like half a second. Right. So if you're wearing big heavy armor, then you can take a few hits without getting knocked around.
My other like was that it feels really satisfying when you beat a boss.
It does. Honestly, I think that's what makes these games so addicting, is just that feeling of accomplishment you get when you finally kill the guy you've been stuck on for, a few hours now.
Yeah. Okay, here's on to my dislikes.
All right.
Absolutely, positively slow as freaking molasses.
It absolutely is. That is definitely the type of gameplay that it is.
I feel like I'm playing this effing game in slow motion and everyone else is in fast motion.
It's definitely the sort of... It's weird because the whole gameplay is like you and your opponent circle each other very slowly, waiting for one of you to make a move. It's like you're actually fighting them. It's really weird.
Also,
but I can see why you didn't like that.
I eventually learned that the lock-on is just kind of necessary.
Oh, absolutely. I tried playing without it just because, I used to screw up my brother saying, oh, lock-on's cheating. I'm not going to use that just to make him unrationally upset. But I realized that it's absolutely necessary to lock on. There's no way to beat the game without it.
Everything uses stamina, which aggravates the hell out of me. Because I can't even, I can't use my shield without using a little bit of stamina. What is that about? Pretty sure I can use a shield in life and not have my stamina drained.
Well, shields are heavy, you gotta hold them up. But if you didn't notice, when your stamina recharges, if you're holding your shield up, it'll recharge slower.
Yeah, I did notice that eventually, and so I stopped holding my shield up for a little bit.
Yeah, so it's sort of a balance between knowing when to hold your shield up to block something, quickly let it down to let your stamina recharge quick, and then pop it back up. It's all very meticulous.
The roll is very ineffective at getting you out of the way of enemies.
Oh no, it's terrible at getting you away from anybody. The only use the roll has is you have to time it to dodge attacks. Other than that, it really doesn't serve a purpose.
Yeah, I know.
It also get you killed because you accidentally roll off ledges, which I've done plenty of times.
And then my final dislike is it took me 20 tries to beat the first boss, but I guess that's more of a dislike of myself. Add that to the long list of those, though.
I'm really glad that you played this game. It makes me very happy.
I'm gonna keep playing it, because I want to see if it just clicks for me at some point.
If you're interested in, the lore of it, there's a very good, video that actually just came out from, the guys who do extra credits. And he did a retrospective video he just finished his playthrough of the first game, and so he went back and studied all the lore and put out a comprehensive video about it. So if you're interested in that, I can toss that your way. Maybe that'll help you get a little more invested in the world.
Maybe. Other than that, Brad, what have you been playing this week?
Well, Dark Souls, of course.
Of course.
It's actually what I was playing before this recording, which is why we're sort of recording late, because I didn't notice that it was time to record.
I also took a nap.
Yeah, so I texted Jake and was like, oh, are we recording today, right? And he's like, oh, I woke up from a nap. Okay, he doesn't need to know that I was playing Dark Souls. But other than that, I started playing Sunset Overdrive.
Oh, isn't that game really great? I just finished that last night, actually. I didn't talk about that because I completely forgot about it.
It's interesting. I like it's very Saints Row-y in the way that it takes itself.
Yeah.
The guns are very humorous, the flaming compensator and all this other, whatchamacallit.
I think it's very, which is weird, but not weird when you think about the fact that it's made by the same studio. It's very Ratchet and Clank in a weird way in its gun design. Yes,
it is. It's, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about it. What I can tell you, though, is I got sick of rolling around and grinding in about 5 minutes.
That's kind of how you have to play the game.
I was really hoping that the grinding was like a cool gimmick that you could use if you wanted to. You could play without it. But no, it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah. The problem with that game, I think, maybe, is that they had this great system of traversing that they also wanted to get involved in the combat, and that then made it, terrible to just stand in one place, because you can get attacked from every direction.
Yeah, I think that's kind of my problem with it, is I don't like having to manage my movement with my combat at the same time. If I can just roll around and dodge enemies, then stop, attack, and then continue grinding around, that'd be fine. But you have to integrate it so your bar stays up and you can use those supers and all that other crazy nonsense.
In all honesty, I'm going to tell you a way to cheat the game right now.
Find
an if you're on a street and there's an overhanging grind thing, just hang down from it and just shoot at them. And then if you get towards the end of the street, just return the other way.
And just go back and forth, back and forth?
Yeah, pretty much. That's a way to cheat it that I found. That's how I always used to do it when it would be like a big fight, and I'd be like, oh, screw this. But
Well, it's probably going to be what I'm going to have to do, because I really don't enjoy the grinding. To me, it seems more of a chore than a actual fun thing to do.
It's fun for getting around, though.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You can get around very, very quickly with that, which I think is what that grinding thing is best at.
It's especially fun when you get it to, like, chain with everything else. Like, if you can grind into a bounce, into a wall run, into, like, a swing off the lamppost, into a grind again. Like, it feels
it's like Mirror's
really
Edge.
Good. Yeah, it feels really good when you get it to go good. I'm very curious. I don't know how much of it you've kind of come up to in the amount that you've played, but how do you feel about the humor of the game?
It's weird. I'm not. I think the reason it's weird for me is because the main character is voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, and the reason I know that is because Yuri Lowenthal is the voice of Sasuke Uchiha in Naruto. So his voice stood out immediately to me, and I knew who he was. And so it's really weird to me hearing somebody who I'm not accustomed to hearing in video games swearing up a storm and acting like an idiot. But what I will say is that the game is probably one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. Its art style, I love it. It's very, very
cartoony.
It's cartoony but realistic, if that makes any sense. It looks very, very good. I'm if nothing else, I'll play just to see more of the artwork.
I think it's a realistic world with very cartoony people and cartoony situations happening, in a way.
Yeah, the humor is very, tongue-in-cheek. It's very,
There's some stuff that I really hope you keep playing that game, because there's some really great humor later on in the game, like a really good, like, fourth wall breaks kind of stuff.
They did that with the, in the tutorial when he's teaching you about the menus, and, the main guy's like, oh, well, this is a video game, I'd just, open a menu or something. And then you hear the disembodied voice, and the main character's like, why am I hearing disembodied voices? I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah. It cools down on that after, like, the tutorial, and then it just does it sparingly during the game.
Yeah.
But it's very funny when it happens.
I find it weird the way they pair their tutorial messages, because it was like, you can turn off the vulgarity and the graphic filter and the options. Oh, and hit RB to boost. I'm like, those are two weird things to put together.
Oh, what, like in the loading screens or whatever? Yeah. I think it's just, they just have a list and it cycles through.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. But, I don't know. The humor, I'll chuckle at. It's not, my favorite kind of humor, but it's funny nonetheless. The art style, like I said, is amazing. And I'll play just to see more of the art. And to see what other things I can hear Yui Lowenthal say.
There's some later missions in that game that get pretty hilarious, so...
I'll have to, I will report back.
Alright. I'll report back on Dark Souls.
Alright, so the next few episodes are going to be interesting for us, I feel.
Yeah. It's going to be us reporting back and forth on two games that we're about.
Yeah. Hopefully we both walk away happy, but until then, all we can do is talk about the news. Alright, Jacob, so going into the news here, the first thing I want to talk about is a follow-up story from, I believe it was the last episode, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And it was about the Nostralis vanilla server. And Blizzard came out with an official statement about it. I'm not going to go on too long about this. I'll just read their statement and we can talk quickly about it. So everything I'm about to say here is directly quoted from Blizzard, specifically J. Allen Brack. And it reads this. We wanted to let you know that we've been closely following the Nostralis discussion, and we appreciate your constructive thoughts and suggestions. Our silence on this subject definitely doesn't reflect our level of engagement and passion around this topic. We hear you. Many of us across Blizzard and the WoW dev team have been passionate players ever since Classic WoW. In fact, I personally work at Blizzard because of my love for Classic WoW. We've been discussing Classic servers for years. It's a topic every BlizzCon, and especially over the past few weeks. From active internal team discussions to after-hour meetings with leadership, this subject has been highly debated. Some of our current thoughts. Why not just let Nostralis continue the way it was? The honest answer is, failure to protect against intellectual property infringement would damage Blizzard's rights. This applies to anything that uses WoW's IP, including unofficial servers, and while we've looked into the possibility, there is not a clear legal path to protect Blizzard's IP and grant an operating license to a pirate server. We've explored options for developing classic servers, and none could be executed without great difficulty. If we could push a button and all of this would be created, we would. However, there are tremendous operational challenges to integrating classic servers, not to mention the ongoing support of multiple live versions of every aspect of WoW. So what can we do to capture the nostalgia of when WoW first launched? Over the years, we've talked about a pristine realm, quote-unquote. In essence, that would turn off all leveling acceleration, including character transfers, heirloom gear, character boosts, recruiter friend bonuses, the WoW tokens, and access to cross-realm zones, as well as Group Finder. We aren't sure whether this version of a clean slate is something that would appeal to the community, and it's still an open topic of discussion. On one other note, we've recently been in contact with some of the folks who operate in Australis. They obviously care deeply about the game, and we look forward to more conversations with them in the coming weeks. You, the Blizzard community, are the most dedicated, passionate players out there. We thank you for your constructive thoughts and suggestions. We are listening. J. Allen Brack. Alright, Jacob, so after that somewhat lengthy statement, what do you think?
It seems like they're just kind of... I kind of get where they're coming from now with this whole shutting down of Nostralis thing. They want to protect their brand and everything. And so I think that if they just come up with the compromise of them having their own vanilla servers,
yeah,
I think we can all kind of put this dark chapter behind us.
Yeah, we knew that Nostralis was in a gray area legally, so It's not surprising Blizzard is protecting their own IPs. But what it sounds that last note that he made, that they're talking to the people who operate in Australis, it sounds to me like Blizzard's pulling a Valve here.
And gonna hire these guys?
They might, because remember, Valve originally hired the modders who were screwing with the Half-Life engine, and that's how we got games like Left 4 Dead and Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
So it's possible that, while they didn't come out and say it because they don't want to put anybody on the spot, it sounds like they might be looking to hire some of these guys to figure out how to do this sort of pristine realm thing in a way that would appeal to the vanilla community.
Maybe it's like how the Just Cause guys, Avalanche Studios, they're like really involved with that multiplayer mod for JC2, and even they invited the guys to see Just Cause 3, so that way they could start working on a mod for Just Cause 3. And it's just like, why don't you just hire these guys and make a multiplayer mode?
Yeah, it's something that unfortunately not a lot of developers are as open to modders as someone like Valve or the guys who make Just Cause. But I'll be interested to see if Blizzard formally accepts these guys into their ranks and to see what they do with it. But I just wanted to talk about that quickly.
Yeah.
So next up, we have a game very dear to Jacob's heart, and that's Rock Band 4.
Rock Band has been one of my greatest games ever since like 2007 or whenever it came out. I love that game.
Well, you're gonna love it even more now, possibly, because it's getting online multiplayer mode.
It had online multiplayer mode and they got rid of it, so...
Yeah, so it's getting it again later this year.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, an upcoming expansion for Rock Band 4 will bring synchronous online multiplayer to the game. Developer Harmonix.
Harmonix. Harmonix.
Yeah, it's Harmonix.
No, you said Harmonix, it's Harmonix. Like you're about to say harmony, but then it's X.
Harmony X. Harmony X.
Whatever, just keep reading the story.
I'm losing my mind today. It's not a good day for me. I'm starting to think no day is a good day for me. That expansion will be out sometime during holiday 2016, so that's a very easy way of saying sometime later.
Yeah.
Synchronous online multiplayer will be like quick play, modified to provide a fair and streamlined experience for console friends looking to play Rock Band 4 together online. Harmonix community manager Chris, that's a weird way of spelling Chris. Criss. Chris Berkey said in a PlayStation blog post, we'll be implementing enhancements on the back end to address issues for folks who don't have the same DLC libraries and want a more fluid process.
Would you like me to read the story?
No, I need to, stop forgetting how to speak. And want a more fluid process for choosing songs together as a band. You all know that one person who would pick a song before you had the chance. I have a feeling that's Jacob with any Taylor Swift song that would come up.
Listen, alright. T-Swift is a fun band song, alright? That's the thing, right? I like to pick songs that are fun to play as the band, and even sometimes fun for me to play as the singer.
I mean, we all know that's the real reason. Jacob just wants to sing We're Never Ever Getting Back Together.
Don't Stop Me Now by Queen is a terrible band song, because it has, no guitar part in it until, towards the end. But I have such a fun time singing it around my living room like an idiot that I always pick it whenever it comes up.
Harmonix promises more information about the online multiplayer and the Rock Band 4 expansions, other unannounced features at the coming E3, so stay tuned for that.
I will say this. Online multiplayer has never been, like, perfect in Rock Band, mainly because of lag issues in between songs, so it kind of, screws up the whole experience for everybody. But I'm curious to see if they kind of fix that. I wonder if this new generation of consoles gives them sort of like a power to do that they maybe didn't have on the old one.
Yeah, I'd hope so. So next is going to be up a story that Jacob doesn't like at all. In fact, makes Jacob very upset.
Yeah,
so Amazon is now selling certain games exclusively to Prime members only. And yes, it's as bad as it sounds. So Amazon has locked certain big games behind its Prime membership, making non-members unavailable to purchase copies directly from the online retailer. Attempts to purchase a GTA 5 on PlayStation 4 and Fallout 4 on Windows PC, those are two specifically on those platforms, I don't know about the other platforms, are met with a box labeled exclusively for Prime members. Instead of a button to buy the games, non-subscribers are invited to join Amazon Prime instead. Both games store listings claim they are currently reserved exclusively for Prime members. Non-members are able to buy copies from other sellers, but not directly from Amazon. So it's important to remember that Amazon doesn't only sell games themselves, but they're a third-party distributor. So they'll purchase games from somebody else and then just ship them to you. So if you buy from somebody else and just have Amazon ship it, this is the little column on the right that says other sellers on Amazon. That's what you're going to have to buy from if you're not a Prime member now. For these games, anyway. Customers have voiced complaints about certain items being locked behind Prime subscribers since 2014, making 2 major game releases, however, seems to be the most notable example of this policy. So it's not a new thing, but it's getting worse, unfortunately. Amazon Prime already offers discounts on popular games. Earlier this year, the company launched a 20% discount, which I talked about earlier, and I'm really annoyed at you, Amazon. I sung your praises, and now you're kind of pissing me off a little bit. I don't like this. Only Prime members who pay an annual fee of $100 are entitled to this discount. Earlier this week, Prime announced monthly subscription options for the increased shipping rates, discounts, and other exclusive features. My God, customers can pay $11 for those. A subscription to stream Amazon Prime Video without any other membership costs $9. So you can see very quickly how they're getting a lot of money because you have to buy their Amazon Prime membership, and then you have to get the $11 to get all the additional features, and then you need the additional $9 if you want Prime Video, and now you can't even buy games without this membership.
No. I think that membership thing for Prime, I think if you just get overall Prime, you get everything, but I think for
without
Prime,
any other membership is $9.
Yeah, they rolled out Prime Video as its own thing, so it's kind of like a Netflix or a Hulu now.
Yeah, which actually I didn't put this in there because it's not video game related at all. But apparently Prime Video now has like almost twice as many movies as Netflix does.
Yeah, also
Which
Hulu
is
I think
weird.
has more movies than Netflix does. Like they have better movies at least.
Yeah, I feel bad for Hulu because very early on they had a whole thing where even if you paid for them, you were still getting ads. And so
Yeah.
they just got a horrible name attached to them. But nowadays they're pretty much fixed. So it
I
sucks
like
that that's
Hulu
still
though.
Yeah. Who's,
Mainly
who-
because I've been debating me and my mother, who I live with because I'm 19 years old and I'm in college. We've been debating on cutting the cord of cable and if we should do that.
Yeah.
And we were talking about just getting like maybe a box and getting like Hulu and stuff on it.
Yeah, you could get like a Chromecast or something.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. And then like obviously like I have an Xbox and a PlayStation, so I can just sign into those things on there. But
My dad has a Chromecast. I'll have to ask him how it is. I don't see him use it very often, so maybe I can pass some recommendations over to you. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was an update because Polygon had reached out to Amazon, and an Amazon representative wrote, quote, "From time to time, Amazon offers exclusive selection and pricing on select items for Prime members. Customers who are not Prime members can sign up for a 30-day free trial of Amazon Prime to benefit from these exclusive prices, or they can purchase these items or similar products from third-party sellers, often fulfilled and shipped by Amazon." So PR speak for if you don't like it, screw you.
All right, let me explain to you why this is so dumb. First of all, I just went on Amazon while you were reading that story to see if like maybe it was still up there, and apparently they've taken off the Prime thing. I'm gonna assume they got a huge backlash, or their period was over.
Oh, it'll be back, I'm sure.
I'm sure it will, but this is at least only on checking out GTA 5 on PS4. I didn't even look at Fallout 4 to see if it was still blocked for Prime. That whole attitude of get our thing or screw you is what I hate the most about this story. is mainly because I could deal with it if it was like a thing of like, oh, for a couple days if you have Prime, here's an exclusive price. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, like a discount kind of thing, like they already do with the pre-orders.
Exactly, but the fact of the matter is that he says when if people don't have Prime, they can sign up for a 30-day free trial, and then they can benefit from the price. What if I don't want to do that?
Yeah, like, okay, so what do I do after the 30 days is up? Do you expect me to buy all of my video games in 30 days and just never purchase from you again?
Exactly. Like, it's so dumb. And I just hate that this may be getting, like a thing in the future where Amazon is like, let's take a whole huge section of our service, which is buying games, and let's make it all Prime. 'Cause that would...
Yeah. I think Amazon has forgotten that they're not the only place to buy video games. And I feel like if they keep this up, if they expand this further than they're already doing it, which to me seems unlikely, I don't think they're going to push this very far, because I know they're not idiots. They know this is not going to go well. But if they do push this any farther, they're going to remember that they're not the only ones to sell video games, because people are going to go to other services to buy video games.
I mean, most of the time why I buy a game on Amazon is because it's like, it's convenient.
Yeah.
It's where I buy, like, the majority of my PlayStation Network, like, money cards, like Xbox money cards, or even, like, my Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus, because it's just, like, I can buy a code here, take that code, and then just put it in my thing.
Yeah. And, Jake, I'm curious, are you an Amazon Prime member?
I have that, I don't have, like, full Prime, I have that, like, weird, like, kinda Prime because of, that school thing you showed me.
Yeah, because you're a student, you have a student Prime then.
Which I think only entitles me to using, like, the shipping stuff, but maybe that's why it didn't pop up for me. I didn't even think of that.
Maybe. I mean, I am an Amazon Prime member, and so is my father, so it's not like we're affected. I'm not personally affected by this, but it's the principle of the matter that really kind of ticks me off. Yeah,
I'm just thinking about kind of the other people in the situation. It's kind of the same thing of, like, with that old PlayStation 4 story we talked about, how they're making a new one last week. It bothered me mainly because, like, you know, for me, like, I've had my PS4 since launch, so, like, it's been a long time for me. So even if I did have to buy this new PlayStation 4, it's like, alright, it's been, like, 3 or 4 years, so it's not that big of a deal. But for, like, people who just bought it, like, within the last month or something like that, I feel bad for those people. And it's the same thing with this, where, like, people who, say, don't want Amazon Prime because they're already, like, subscribed to too many services, or, like, say, can't even afford Amazon Prime, like...
Yeah, because it is $100. Like, it's not like...
Yeah.
It's close to what Netflix costs and all the other subscription services, so it's understandable. But anyway, we'll see what that, like so many other stories, it's a wait and see. We'll have to see if they press their luck even further. Speaking of pressing their luck, though...
That was actually a pretty good segue.
Thank you. Five Nights at Freddy's is getting another game. And this time it's a spin-off called Sister Location.
You remember when number 4 was called The Final Chapter? I think they're pulling a Friday the 13th here.
I think they are. So, let's see. We're getting another game, we're getting a book, we're getting a movie.
Well, the book and the movie are two separate entities, but, like, the games, they just keep coming. Like, the last one that came out was alright, because it wasn't even really, like, a scare game, so it was, like, whatever. It was, like, a weird, like, open-world RPG or something.
Yeah, which I made my brother play out of pure curiosity, because I wasn't going to play it. It's awful.
Right.
So I had him play it and report back, and after about 20 minutes of playing, he walked over and said, "This is the worst thing I've ever played. I'm never playing it again."
Look at that.
But anyway, so this new spin-off game, subtitled Sister Location, was discovered through a teaser that went up on Scott Cawthon's website today. I feel like we haven't said that name on our show recently. Scott
we haven't
Cawthon
talked about it in a long time.
Doesn't get enough mention on the show, maybe. So no other details are known other than what's in the teaser. I will put a link to it in the description below if you want to look at it. And the teaser site's background features what appear to be the face of a new character. Sister Location also seems to refer to the fictitious restaurant associated with Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which served as the series' original setting and namesake. The point-and-click survival horror series launched 4 titles on Windows, PC, and mobile between August 2014 and July 2015 before Cawthon. Yeah. 4 games in that short span of time.
Jesus.
That's incredible. And this was after that he turned his attention to the RPG game, which was awful. But let's just hope that he's going back to what he knows how to do, is what I assume this is.
He's going back to the well.
Yeah, I would like to say that, we'll have to wait a long time to figure out, is this game going to be any good? But no, in Scott Cawthon, we'll be talking about it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, in 2 weeks it'll be released, and we'll be like, Sister Location is just another Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, not the jump scare game.
I mean, who knows? Maybe this one's been a while in between, since the last, mainline Freddy game.
Yeah.
Could be.
So,
maybe you can walk around finally.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, and not
stationary.
Not the most recent game where the only thing you did was run around your bedroom.
Yeah, you ran around in a path that was predetermined for you.
Yeah. But anyway, Jacob, do you own Transistor? I'm curious. I think I've asked you this. I don't remember your answer.
I own Transistor. I've never played Transistor.
Well, the guys who make Transistor, Supergiant, are making a new game, and supposedly
but I did play Bastion.
Oh, you did play Bastion.
Yes.
Oh, cool. I figured if there's one of the two you would have played, it would have been Transistor. But Supergiant is making another game, and this one's called Pyre, and it's just as pretty as the other games that they've made, if not more so. And I love the description that Polygon gives it because it's called a game of lost hope, redemption, spiritual aura-blasting basketball meets dodgeball.
Nice.
Which is a fantastic description, and I wish we could all describe our games that way. So the game uses gorgeously painted aesthetics and compelling storytelling that Supergiant is known for to propel a quirky sort of gameplay that doesn't quite seem to fit, like Transistor and Bastion. This seems to be their kind of thing where it's a weird gameplay with awesome story and good graphics. So they released a reveal trailer, and I think there's a 20-minute video of gameplay out there as well, and I like all the other ones. I will put descriptions to links to those in the description as well. And so the game opens as you, an unseen, unidentified player, are discovered in a sort of wasteland used to dispose of society's unwanted. In the opening conversation of the game, you meet 3 fellow exiles: a young man, a woman with massive curling horns, and a talking dog. And I love this dog because it has the that evil Italian mustache that curls up. I love it. Yeah, he's like.
I don't know. I went French.
Yeah.
But French people usually also have that mustache.
It's awesome, and I love it, and I hope the dog talks like that. If it doesn't, then they're missing a serious opportunity. So after asking how you want to be referred to, he, she, or they? That's weird. They give you a they option.
Maybe you can be transgender.
I guess, but I don't
progressive.
think
What a progressive game.
I don't think transgender people prefer to be called they.
I know. I was just trying to think of what the third option would be.
I don't know.
Maybe you're an animal. Who knows?
Yeah.
But even then, you'd still have a gender. Whatever.
We're thoroughly confused. The game plunges into the story, and it's supposedly a pretty simple one. Your 3 new friends have books that believe they contain a way out of their purgatory. So you want to get out of this little hellhole that you're in to walk among society again.
They also, you didn't mention, but the big thing is that your character can read, and these people can't read, so that's why you're a big deal to them.
Oh yeah, they're illiterate, mostly because one of them's a dog, the other one's a demon who really does have giant horns, and I don't know why the guy can't read. I guess he's just illiterate. But you can forage for resources, which you can later sell to replenish your caravan. You can study in private to unlock new pages in the Book of Rites, which improves your foraging and mentoring skills, or you can choose to mentor, which raises the experience level of your other characters. So it's kind of a weird, foragey, grindy game. It's honestly hard to describe it. Just take a look at the video if you haven't already. But this article is huge. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But this game looks really, really cool.
It's an RPG mixed with NBA Jam.
Yes, that's the best way to describe it. And it has a French dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Who I hope goes, ha baguette.
Oh, I got my baguettes, and I hate you stupid Americans who smoke cigarettes at the top of the Eiffel Tower.
He's going to smoke and...
You dumb Americans.
Oh, God. I think we reference stereotypes way too often on this show.
I also, too, I take most of my stereotypes from other things, and I took that whole French thing from, if you've ever seen the show Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Whenever he talks about French people, he does that voice, and he does the thing about, it's a child, for some reason, who's smoking a cigarette and talking about baguettes.
It's amazing. But moving on here is another story that Jacob's gonna love. Jacob, I think this episode is just tailored to you. It's all stories that you will like, except for the Amazon one.
So, pretty much all week is gonna be my week.
Yeah, pretty much. So you like the Persona series, right?
I've only really played 4, but I love it.
Yeah. So Persona 5 is teasing something that's gonna be revealed on May 5th.
Something tells me it's gonna be the release date.
Possibly. So the next entry in Atlus's high school-based role-playing series, that's a mouthful, Persona 5 is still without a solid release date, but a new countdown timer on the game's official website may have some answers. The website is stamped with the phrase, "Take your heart," and a timer that's ticking away to May 5th, aka 505,
Right.
which is Cinco de Mayo.
Yes, it is Cinco de Mayo.
They
Let's
are
drink
going
a bunch of Coronas.
Yeah, they're going to reveal a Mexican character in the next Persona series, next Persona game. Although Persona 5 was originally slated for 2015 release, the game was pushed into 2016 last September. It's already been announced for release in Japan and North America for PlayStation 3 and PS4. Details about the game, such as its cast of phantom thieves and how it will differ from past games, have also begun to emerge. The most notable unknown is Persona 5's release date. The game's most recent trailer promised summer 2016, though it's unclear if that date is Japan only. So as with the previous entries, Persona 5 follows a group of high school students with the ability to summon powerful allies known as personas. The game's theme is said to revolve around social reform, as the protagonist and his friends work to regain stolen hearts.
It's exciting. This is exciting.
And, Jacob, are you looking at the article right now?
I am.
The picture. Who is that? Because he looks like demonic and awesome.
Well, I don't know who that is. That's because every Persona game has new characters in it.
Oh, is it not continuity based?
No, well, there's things that connect it, but
it's like Final Fantasy style where everything's new every time.
Yeah,
okay.
All new characters every time. So he's a new character. So, but if you look at the new trailer, the art style for this game is gorgeous because like the cutscenes are kind of done like in an anime style.
Yeah.
Like it's like literally like 2D anime, and then like the game itself is like a 3D anime. Like it's beautiful, and it has like some of the best menus I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
I'll send you the link to the trailer so you can put it in the description.
Awesome. If there's one thing the Japanese know how to do very well, it's cutscenes and beautiful animation styles.
This company also did another game that I really like, Atlas. I played this way before I even knew what Persona was. It's called Catherine. It's a game about relationships, weirdly enough, where like you have nightmares and you do like these puzzle things.
I've seen this game and it looks freaky as hell.
It's freaky as hell, but the storyline is so good in it. And it's like such an honest game about relationships. Like it's so weird to me. Like
yeah, kind of a underdeveloped topic in video games, certainly.
Yeah.
But kind of bouncing off that story, the next story has to do with Atlas actually, and it's in their little quarrel with NIS America, which is both a publisher and a developer. And so this story just came out, I want to say yesterday, so it's still pretty new. And NIS America is no longer going to publish Atlas games in Europe. And speaking to MCV, which is the publishing firm that this was announced to, NIS America MD Takuro Yamashita, I can't speep today, Takuro Yamashita, said it has become increasingly difficult to work with Atlas since it was purchased by Sega. And this is a quote from him. Around 10 days ago, we terminated our alliance with Atlas in Europe and the US. Atlas became very picky about selecting European publishing partners after it was bought by Sega. It always cherry-picked its EU publishing partner based on who offered the highest minimum guarantee on a title-by-title basis. I noticed that it was very difficult for NIS America to establish an equal partnership with Atlas. Atlas and its European games have contributed a lot to the expansion of NIS America in Europe, and I'd like to express my greatest appreciation to them for that. In addition to Atlas not publishing titles in Europe, titles from NIS America are no longer going to be distributed by Atlas in America. And in the past, NIS America released Atlas titles including the Persona series, Persona 4, Etrian Odyssey, Untold 2, and Persona Q in Europe. So those two had kind of a falling out, which I feel like we might have predicted in our last time we talked about these guys, that Sega might be screwing some things up, and it seems like they are.
Yeah. That's just like Sega to always screw things up, though.
Good job, Sega.
Real nice.
But unfortunately, it is for the smaller series that both of these companies produce. It's unlikely we're going to see them localized now. But for the bigger series like Persona, I find it very unlikely that it won't still see a worldwide release.
Right.
It's arguably probably the biggest JRPG in the West. The only competitor I can think of off the top of my head might be Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is still obviously big because it has a huge name cachet, but Persona's really been like right on its tail past couple of years.
So there's no way that we won't see a Western release of Persona. As for the smaller games, it might be time to worry.
Yeah.
But that concludes the news.
Hold it right there, Pat Sajak.
Oh, God.
Because we got some breaking news coming in here. Because I originally went to just go look for the Persona trailer to send it to you, but then in my subscriptions, because I'm subscribed to the great IGN.com, the new Call of Duty seems to have a title.
Oh, okay. Breaking news here on Complete with DLC.
This year's installment in the Call of Duty series seems to be called Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. The title could briefly be found on an empty entry on the US PlayStation Store on PS4 at the top of the trending section. It has since been removed, and then here's a screenshot, and in the article there's a screenshot where it clearly shows Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Like, you know when you go to the PlayStation Store and it has that tab of like all the games in the list?
Yeah.
It's in that list.
Oh.
Earlier today, a leak suggested the new game from series veteran Infinity Ward would be revealed next week, which would make sense because it's usually revealed during the NBA Finals, and that's going on right now. And, of course, other things about how the game is strongly rumored to have a sci-fi setting, and the new title is just adding fuel to that fire.
Yeah, because this one supposed to be, like, far future?
Yeah, it's supposed to be, like, in space and stuff.
So, well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's, maybe this one won't be as bad as I think it's going to be. I can only hope.
It was fun to bring you that breaking news.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. That's awesome. But on that note, we can move on into the newest segment of the Tuesday show, the Quick Time Question. Alright, welcome to the Quick Time Question. The way this works is I'm going to ask Jacob a form of video game trivia, either in the form of a quiz, a question, or maybe a little game. And this week, it's going to be just one question.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's going to be a trivia question, and this one's concerning Fallout 4.
Oh, okay, I got this.
Specifically, it's power armor.
Okay, let's do this.
Alright, so in Fallout 4, there are several classes of power armor. There is one class that has the most unique parts in the game, and it is the only class that can be assembled entirely out of these unique parts. Which one of these four is that armor class? Is it the T-45, the XO-1, the T-60, or the Raider armor?
The XL1.
Oh, that is incorrect, Jacob.
Son of a... Really?
Yes. The correct answer was the T-60. The T-60 is the armor set that most of you would know that the Brotherhood of Steel are very popular with. And it has a total of 7 different unique sets, and is the only armor that can be assembled entirely out of them. It is the Vengeance right leg, the Honor left leg, Exemplar's torso, the Visionary's helmet, and there are several pieces of the Tesla T-60 armor, which are unique torso, left arm, and right arm. I thought you were going to get that one, Jacob. I'm
ashamed of myself.
But it was close. I can see why you went with the XO1. It's the rarest suit in the game, so it would make sense that it has a lot of the special parts.
Yeah, that's kind of where my thinking was.
But unfortunate, Jacob did not win this week.
I was so confident. I was like Icarus.
Yeah.
I flew too close to the sun and my wings burned off.
Maybe next time. It feels good to be on the other end of this table, where it's, not me losing.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. I could get used to this.
I'm gonna give you a really hard well that sucked this week now.
Oh god. Alright, so let me move into the spiel then. So if you want to get in touch with... It feels weird for me segueing into my own spiel.
Yeah.
If you want to get in touch with us, you can do that at completewithdlc@gmail.com. There's going to be the best place for you to voice your opinions to us. So you have an opinion of anything that we talk about on the show, whether it be, the Amazon exclusivity issues going on, or maybe you have an idea for a question that I could ask Jacob for a quick time question. Send it in to completewithdlc@gmail.com.
Do the same thing for well that sucked. He is not the only one who controls the email.
That is true. If you don't want to email the show, and instead you just want to find more of us, you can do that on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Those are the 4 places that we are hosted. The RSS feed specifically is hosted on SoundCloud, and actually, just recently, we were approved for Google Play. So very soon you will be finding Complete with DLC on Google Play as well.
We're gonna soar to the top of the charts.
Yes. And if you want to follow the show in the social medias, the best place to do that is Twitter. We are Complete with DLC on Twitter. That is where Jacob puts up all the stuff about the new episodes getting released, or whenever Jacob or I are doing something interesting. Jacob, if they want to get in touch with you, where can they do that?
You can do that on any sort of social media. I'm usually found on those as It's J Griff, ITSJYGRIFF. If you really want to get in touch with me, though, Twitter is the one I'm most active on.
He is a very interesting Tweeter.
Why am I interesting tweeter?
Because you cover a very variety of topics, I've noticed.
Yeah. It's like video games, sometimes some music stuff, movies, and this weekend actually a lot of sports because my hockey team, the Islanders, I know I'm a weird bird because I'm from Massachusetts and I like the New York Islanders. They just won their series this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Basically thanks to John Tavares, so they're going into round 2, and it's going to be exciting. They're playing game 1 of round 2 tomorrow, and it's going to be a big thing. Go Islanders.
Yeah, so if you want to talk hockey with Jacob, definitely do that.
Yes. Brad, we're going to get in touch with you.
If you want to get in touch with me, you can do that on the social medias. Twitter, specifically. I am Calgny on Twitter, Kalgne. However, if you don't trust in my ability to use a social media site, then Battle.net is going to be your next best option, and I am Brad1261 on Battle.net. Just when you send me a friend request, make sure that you tell me that you're a listener to the show so I can make a note accordingly and I don't accidentally delete you. Barring either of those two, if you really don't want to talk to me on either of those two, then you can do the show email and just direct the email at either me or Jacob, and I will make sure that it gets to the right people. If you are listening to this on iTunes or Stitcher, please leave us a review and give us a rating. It really helps us out, and we love all the feedback you guys give us, and we try to improve constantly, and we would like to think that we're doing that. But I think that's everything, Jacob.
That is everything. I also tweeted about Game of Thrones this weekend. But
everybody was tweeting about Game of Thrones. It's always around this time that I feel left out because I don't watch Game of Thrones.
I'll watch Game of Thrones.
I'm not that interested in it.
I think you could get pretty interested in it.
I feel like we have this discussion every time Game of Thrones comes up, and it always ends with Jacob storming off because he's mad at me because I don't watch anything.
It's like some deep-seated like anger in there that just comes up where I'm just like, you're not open to anything, just watch something.
Yeah, Jacob desperately pleading for me not to just watch something that isn't anime for once. But anyway,
it's literally what it is. I just want you to just get out of your little anime hole.
But anyway, that's a show, Jacob.
That is.
This has been Complete with DLC. I'm Brad Knight.
I'm Jacob Griffin. That still sounds weird
We're
backwards.
gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening.